He's been working in Antanimora for 15 years. He knows the prison like the back of his hand. The small guard room in the front yard is his office and the heart of the institution. The place all must pass, entering or leaving. It is just as ramshackle as the rest of the prison complex. Rakoto Arisoa commands a troop of 60 men and a small army of auxiliary police. His job? To maintain law and order.
The most common incidents are minor brawls. Generally, disputes where one inmate has stolen something from another, or they involve food. Lots of prisoners don't have any of their own food, so they steal it from somebody else and we have to punish them accordingly.
Crime. Problems with what passes here for food. And drastic punishment. More of that later, because now the cells are unlocked at 5 a.m. Although it's practically still the middle of the night, the cell doors fly open. After 12 hours of close confinement, heat and stink, everyone wants just one thing: out. Likewise for rookie inmate Ricardo in Block A. The first lockup is over. Dressed in a fresh t-shirt, he seems hardly rested after his first night on the stone floor.
You just can't sleep in here. It's impossible. I hope I get out soon, to my family.
Nobody knows when their judgment is coming. Prisoner Riza, too, is exhausted after another night in Madagascar's horror jail. There is no breakfast. Those with money can buy coffee at a small kiosk. Riza has only few possessions, like most of the other inmates. A change of underwear, and that's about it. He hopes his wife will visit him today, bringing news from the court and something to eat. He's gradually getting desperate.
Well, since I've been here, I sleep 1 hour and 30 every night, no more. Because of the fleas, because of what you think of what's happening outside. But I try to survive. And I hope that on Monday, when the sentence will be pronounced, I can go home. I'll try to negotiate with my lawyer to at least I can get the minimum of sentence, at least 1 month or maybe 6 in the worst case. I think it will be the first death of my life, I think, but it's impossible to stay here.
Better than anyone, Superintendent Mora is aware of the inhuman conditions in his jail, and he makes no bones about it.
Yes, it is tough, damn tough in here. To do jail time in Madagascar is about the worst thing that can happen to anybody. I'm being straight. Over here, we are not always in agreement when it comes to human rights. In reality, they hardly exist.
That being said, how bad must it be for a European? Block B of Antanimora. Bernard Venet has been in remand awaiting trial for 2 days. The Frenchman had a fight with a taxi driver. He is one of 2 white men in Madagascar's central prison.
It's shocking. For me, this is a total horror. Intolerable. And then there's the monotony. There's nothing to do in here. Nothing. All day.
The 43-year-old bar owner comes from Marseille. He emigrated to Madagascar years ago. Bernard is not entitled to any special treatment. The Frenchman must sleep in a completely overcrowded cell like any other native prisoner.
This is my spot. I lie here. And there are another 2 right beside me here, and one over there.
58 men in his cell, sleeping like sardines in a can.
Obviously. It's complicated. Very complicated.
Although Bernard, an expatriate, is used to the poverty of Madagascar, he is still shocked by the conditions here. He showers in the latrine.
There's no water here. It has to be fetched from outside. We warm it up with a heating rod and then pour it over our heads. That's how we shower. It smells of urine, of course. It stinks. But, well, that's how it is when men live together in close confinement.
Cleanliness, hygiene, a huge problem in Antanimora. If you want to wash the fleas off your body, you need money in East Africa's toughest jail.
We have to buy the water. Well, we've got only one water pump there. There are two water pumps, and there are people who are taking care of the water pumps. So they are selling the water to all the prisoners, and if we want to get a shower, we have to buy it 100 riyals.
Riza must wait. The showers are full. Although the sanitary facilities in Antanimora are just as dilapidated as the rest of the prison. Hygiene is a foreign word in this jail. Garbage and refuse everywhere. Leftover food rotting in the sun. Open sewers. And rats everywhere. Scurrying around, even during the day. The prison authorities can do nothing. There is no money. A high risk. Rat carcasses lie around. Diseased animals dying in the sun. A haven for bacteria and viruses. Madagascar is one of the few countries where the plague is still a problem, causing dozens of deaths each year. Fleas, infesting the rats, transfer the deadly pestilence to people, and the prison is a paradise for rats. They intend to do something about it. A group of men from the Red Cross and Madagascar's Pasteur Institute. In a barracks outside the prison, they plan to go on a rat hunt with traps. Traps with poison to kill the plague fleas infesting the rats when they run through, and traps with bait for the rats themselves. According to the organization, the number of rats in the prison has risen sharply. The situation is becoming critical.
Imagine if there is a case of plague in the prison, you have seen the overcrowding of them, so the epidemic can just spread like that very, very quickly.
The fear? A plague epidemic in the prison would also spread to the capital, and then throughout all of Madagascar. Fear of the plague is also making the rounds in the prison, as if the health of many of the inmates in East Africa's toughest prison wasn't already bad enough. The infirmary of Antanimora. Even this is far from a sterile, germ-free place. Charities and relief organizations have been criticizing these conditions for years. The prison is rife with malaria, skin diseases, bronchitis, and tuberculosis. It is a hopeless battle for Antanimora's one and only physician.
We don't have any medicine here. I have to stress this. We have received no medicine over the entire year. I do what I can. Sometimes we get a few donations, sometimes the nuns bring something, but that is seldom.
The infirmary doesn't even have any paracetamol, and a pregnant woman is waiting in the anteroom to be examined. Nor is she the only pregnant woman here. The women's block of Antanimora, about 250 female prisoners, from thief to multiple murderers. This part of the prison is likewise hopelessly overcrowded. No privacy, no retreat, just like the men. and exactly the same problems with hygiene and cleanliness. Only here, there are children, toddlers, and babies with their mothers. Even pregnant women are incarcerated. Noeli Soa, 28, a cook, is serving 2.5 years here for fraud. She gave birth to her baby in jail.
This is what happens. When you go into labor, the cops arrive and take you to the hospital. You're there for 3 days so you can have your baby and recover somewhat. Then the police come and fetch you with your baby and bring you back here. I never could have imagined having my baby in the prison of Antanimora.
Bringing up a newborn behind bars, daily routine here. And yet, under these conditions, an almost inhuman challenge. Nana shares the dormitory with 35 other mothers and their babies. Her daughter, Lian Soa, is 18 months old. Nana says that the child is permanently sick.
We have all kinds of vermin and insects. There are any number of rats, fleas, and cockroaches. Too many of us are packed in here. Whenever we want to turn over at night, we have to tell the others that we're turning over. And if a baby or a child cries, we have to get up and quiet them down. Otherwise, we are punished.
Nana is accused of fraud. The 37-year-old has not yet been convicted. She is awaiting trial, with no idea when that is likely to happen. Meanwhile, she manages with her baby as best she can.
They only let you see a doctor if you're on the verge of death. You have to take very good care of yourself and your child, and pay great attention to personal cleanliness and to the food.
There is no baby food. The children get whatever the women can buy or what their relatives bring. They cook together. No one touches the food provided by the prison, because the prison food is nearly uneatable. Nevertheless, while the women manage to organize and share their own food, most of the male prisoners have to rely on the prison food. The stocks for this are stored not far from the guardhouse. No refrigeration is necessary. A stuffy, dark shack is sufficient for this. Manioc. The tuber is the only nourishment provided by the state for the prisoners. There is nothing other than the starchy root. The storekeeper provides 300 grams per prisoner per day.
I tried it myself. It's okay, but I couldn't eat it every day. My stomach wouldn't take it.
3:30 p.m., Block D of Antanimora. The kitchen. Here, the inmates themselves prepare the food provided by the state. Manioc, or cassava as it's called here, every day.
It's difficult to cook. Manioc is very dry and hard.
So they boil it until it's tender, for hours, without salt, spices, or anything else. Only manioc root. "4 p.m. The inmates' only free meal of the day is dished up. The men manage to contain their enthusiasm, but hunger is still the best relish.
I'm really hungry.
Food is my biggest worry. I've got no family here in town which could bring me food.
So it's boiled manioc root,